Hey everyone, and welcome to yet another day of social studies. I hope you guys all had an awesome 3-day weekend. We're going to go ahead and get rolling. Today we're talking about Martin Luther King Jr. Day and doing a quick semester progress check. All right, our agenda, once again, your attendance will be based on your out for the day if you are doing this at home. We'll do our notebook in just a second, along with our in and so forth. You guys know the deal. Then we'll do this semester progress check. Hopefully, for those of you guys that are a little behind on things, this gives you a chance to catch up. If you pass the semester progress check, you can go ahead and move on to the MLK Day stuff. If you do not, and you have some of those things to work on those things first. And if you have time, go ahead and take a look at the MLK Day stuff. Okay. Then we'll do some vocabulary for MLK Day if you are moving on to that. And we have notes, and then we're going to talk about Martin Luther King Jr.'s what was his dream, and then you guys have a quiz over the reading about his I Have a Dream speech. And then obviously you'll have the out. I know it seems like there's a lot of things there. They're all pretty short, though. Okay? All right, our notebook for today, we have two vocab words, civil rights movement and segregation. Our learning target for today is we're going to be investigating why we celebrate MLK Day by reading about its importance. You guys are actually going to be reading about his I Have a Dream and applying that to whether or not you think it still has any relevance to us today. Our in for today, what do you know about Martin Luther King Jr.? Today's date is January 19th for A Day, and it's January 20th for B Day. I should change that topic. It's no longer the timeline. It is MLK Day. There we go. Looks a little better. All right, go ahead, pause this video, and go ahead and fill out your notebook. Take about 5 minutes. When you're done, go ahead, come on back and resume the video. Hey, welcome back. Let's go ahead and keep on moving. Maybe. Doing all sorts of things. There we go. All right, first thing is the semester progress check, okay? So today, if you are behind, this is to help you guys get caught up, okay? You can take as much of the class time, about an hour or so, that you need to go ahead and get caught up. So first thing, okay? First thing, if you have not finished the assessment from Friday, or if you're in B group Monday, okay? Please go ahead and do that first, okay? Please go ahead and finish up that assessment. Once again, if you have not finished that assessment up, please go ahead and do that. Once that is finished, and if you are finished with that, it's time to check and see if your timeline is finished. Okay, so if you have not completed that yet, and I mean what we originally did last semester and the 9 events we added this semester, last week, okay, go ahead and work on that, okay? Please, 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 we really need you guys to get those 2 things finished. They are going to be graded and put into the grade book in the next 3 days about here, okay? All right, so you can use the timeline assignment found under week 19 on Wednesday for A Day and Thursday for B Day. Okay, so it'll be in that week 19. It'll be right there. Use those instructions. It'll help you for both if you're behind from last semester still and the new events from last week. Okay, use the instructions to add those new events. You can go ahead and click the Padlet link to just take you to Padlet. All right, like I said, use as much of the class period as you need to complete these. Okay, focus on these first, please. We really need you guys to get caught up. Okay, if you are finished with them, or almost finished, meaning taking about 10-15 minutes, please do complete the short MLK Day investigation, which we're going to do next. Okay, so if you're done, caught up on all those things, awesome, you're killing it, that's great. We have some stuff for you. Okay, or if you're almost caught up, get caught up, and then take a little time because MLK Day is pretty cool. All right. First thing you're going to do for MLK Day, we got some vocabulary for you guys, and you can go ahead and write those in your notebook. Did I skip something? Let's see here. No. All right. So, first vocab word is the Civil Rights Movement. Okay, and the Civil Rights Movement was a struggle for social justice that took place mainly during the 1950s and 1960s for Black Americans to gain equal rights under the law in the United States. Okay, that's a lot of information there. Okay, but basically, Black African Americans or Black Americans in the 1950s and 60s were not treated equally under the law. A whole bunch of different things there, okay? And so the Civil Rights Movement was a movement of many blacks in America, particularly several leaders, including Martin Luther King Jr., fighting for those rights. Okay. So what are civil rights? Just to clarify for you, it's the rights of the citizens to political and social freedom and equality. Okay. Segregation, which was one of the things that was brought up lots during the civil rights movement. Once again, segregation. It is the action or state of setting someone or something apart from other people or things. Okay, so segregation in the case of, in much of Southern America, was black people and, or I should say colored people and white people had different schools, different bathrooms, they had to ride in different places on the buses and so forth. You guys can Google segregation in the South and you'll find lots of extra information if you'd like to do it. Okay, so go ahead and pause the video, write these definitions down, and when you're ready, come on back and we'll move on. All right, welcome back. Let's go ahead and keep moving. All right, next we just have some quick notes for you guys over Martin Luther King Jr. Who was he? Okay, if you didn't know, just some quick background information. He was born in Atlanta, Georgia in 1929. Okay, he began his career as a Baptist preacher. That's what he started out as. But then he moved to become, I should say, one of, man, I should hopefully find my mistakes sooner than this. I apologize, guys. One of, there we go, one of the leaders of the civil rights movement. Okay, so a little bit about him in the civil rights movement. Okay, he led a boycott of the Montgomery buses in Alabama until they were integrated. If you guys have heard of Rosa Parks, after that happened, he was one of the leaders that helped organize a boycott, meaning they wouldn't use any of those buses. And that went on for a little bit until finally they agreed to integrate the buses, meaning allow people to sit wherever they wanted. Two, he gave his famous I Have a Dream speech at the March, that's supposed to say March, on Washington. I am really struggling. All right, apparently still struggling. And I should have quoted this. Pays to edit your stuff, guys. All right. So he did give his famous I Have a Dream speech at the March on Washington, which you guys are going to read today. Don't worry, it's not very long. It's like 4 pages. Okay. He was present for the signing of the 1964 Civil Rights Act. He was there in the room when President Lyndon B. Johnson signed it, and Lyndon B. Johnson even shook his hand after signing the document. Okay. That act, by the way, outlawed segregation in publicly owned facilities, so it was no longer allowed that anywhere public could segregation be allowed. And kind of one of the last notes, like I said, if you want to learn more, go look it up. But he received the Nobel Prize for Peace on December 10, 1964. Lastly, which might be difficult, excuse me. I'll zoom out just for a second here. Lastly, he was assassinated on April 4th, 1968, on the balcony of his motel room in Memphis, Tennessee. He was shot and killed. So if you'd like to learn more about that, I will go ahead and let you do that on your own. And it's pretty sad. Okay. All right. So I'm going to go ahead, pause. You pause the video. Go ahead, write those notes down, please, and thank you. All right. Welcome back, everyone. Let's go ahead and keep moving on, and we're going to be moving into the work portion of your lesson. Okay. So Martin Luther King Jr.'s dream. Okay, we're going to take a look at what his dream was in the I Have a Dream speech. So she's going to tell us what his dream was about. Okay, so you guys are going to open up the Martin Luther King I Have a Dream PDF in Kami. We'll do that in just a second. You will be marking the text according to the guiding question. The guiding question is, what is Martin Luther King Jr.'s dream? Let me go ahead and write down you need to mark the text. Okay, let me fix that. There we go. Just, man, I have a lot of stuff to fix. Okay, so we'll open it up, we'll read it, we'll mark the text, blah, blah, blah. You guys know the deal. After you finish reading then, okay, you're going to open up the reading quiz called I Have a Dream. It's titled Reading Quiz Dash I Have a Dream. It's the Google form. Answer those questions. You may absolutely use the reading. If you took any notes while reading, use those as well. Then you can submit when you are finished. And then lastly, obviously after we're done with all that, we'll do the out, which we'll take a look at together. That should say finished. We'll just type that in, pretend I didn't have that mistake as well. All right, now that we're done with that, let's go ahead and take a look at those. We're going to jump over to Google Classroom. We're going to click on Tuesday. Once again, if you're in A group or online, it'll be Wednesday for those of you in B group. Okay, we're going to open up this thing, Martin Luther King, I Have a Dream, PDF. You guys know the deal. It'll probably have your name in front of it. It definitely will have your name in front of it because you'll each have your own copy. You're going to go ahead and open that in Cami so that you can mark that text. Okay, this at the beginning you can read if you would like. You don't need to. But this is an article from Newsella. They've gone ahead and made the reading level a little more appropriate for 8th graders. Okay, so your guiding question once again is, what is Martin Luther King Jr.'s dream? Okay, so as you're reading that, don't need that period there. Okay, be underlining or highlighting information that helps answer that question. You'll go ahead and read it. Like I said, it's not very long. It looks like 1, 2, 3. It's barely 3 1/4 pages, if that. Okay, after the picture and so forth. So go ahead and read that. I think you guys will find it pretty interesting. When you are done with that, so you've marked the text you've read. Okay, you can go ahead and go back into Google Classroom. Click out of the PDF. Go ahead and open up the reading quiz. Okay, please make sure you put in your name, first, last, the period, and then you have 4 questions to answer. First one, how do Martin Luther King Jr.'s experiences in the South affect his view of the Emancipation Proclamation 100 years after it became law? Okay, probably will have to use the text. These are not exactly the easiest questions ever written. Okay, number 2, how do Martin Luther King Jr.'s ideas about protest shape his view of racism? 3, what about the role of African Americans does Martin Luther King Jr. seek to change? And 4, how does the Declaration of Independence influence Martin Luther King Jr.'s view of citizens? Okay, once you've answered those, click Submit. If at any point in time you'd like to go back and edit this, you can reopen it, and there is a button that says you can edit your submission. Okay, once you're done with that, you can go ahead and close out of that and the reading. And then we go back to our slides and do our out for the day. Okay, you're out. It's a little more involved out. I hope you guys actually enjoy it. I'm pretty excited about it myself. So you're going to watch the video first and then answer the out question. Okay, so it's got a little bit of intro, but then it's going to be several African American students around your guys' age, actually, reading, or not even reading. They're going to be, I guess you could say, performing a few of the lines from a few of his different speeches. Okay, so just listen closely. If you need to, slow the video down a little, or you can rewind it a couple times. It's not very long. It's only 5 minutes. And then the question for you to answer is, do you think the words of Martin Luther King Jr. still apply today? Okay, if you think they do, please tell me why. If you think they don't, please tell me why not. Okay, remember you will be answering this in the daily out form, and that is found under general class resources. Although I think I need to edit one part of that, because if you're in Mr. Hallwagner's class, he will probably attach that for you. Alrighty. Okay, I believe that is all for today. As always, if you guys have any questions, please let me or Mr. Hallwagner know. Please take your time with this. If you're behind, please get caught up. Please, 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 please. Okay, we're trying to make sure that we don't move too incredibly fast this semester, but also, like, this is your last chance to prep before high school, so rock it. Secondly, if you are caught up, do this. It's important stuff. It affects our country even to this day. Okay? As always, thanks, guys, and I will catch you in the next lesson.